Hi, Star Traveler or Walk-in, whatever you want, whatever name you want to use. I want to explain just a little bit about this webinar series. And some people, some souls are here to really help humanity. All souls are. And yet there's some who really have really high levels of consciousness and inner knowing. And these souls are souls who can access different portals of information and bring it to earth. They have many gifts, many talents. And these souls, to have that access to that knowledge, they couldn't be born here. Because if they were born, they would forget. So there's a soul agreement with the family council where the first child and the family agree. And usually the first child who was in the body has been a walk in another life, but needed this experience of birthing. And then there's a point through a trauma or a near-death experience where the walk-in soul will come in, where the contract is fulfilled with the first child, and the first child says, okay, I'm out of here, and it's finished. So then the first child will leave the information, the personality, the imprints with the new spirit who comes into that body. That spirit usually experiences life in a very heavy way because that spirit's dropping information which doesn't belong to that soul and is in the body of usually a traumatized or an abused system. So there's a lot of heaviness there. And it's very hard to stay in the body and to work with that information. So then there's a point where there's also the walk-in part who is a very high level of consciousness, and no disrespect to the first child or the family, there's a very low level of consciousness. And there's an imbalance between the two systems. So the walk-in part will start merging with the personality of the first child and will have very high levels of consciousness, high goals, but they'll keep crashing. So there's also a lot, very low self-confidence mixed with a very high one. It's an imbalance there. So what's important to know for the walk-in part would be to know that you used your gifts on supporting the family, but you weren't meant to use it on the family. So you feel like a failure that these gifts didn't work in the family, so my gifts don't work. So it's very low self-confidence. So you could release yourself from that low self-confidence and really feel that, oh, these gifts actually do work. I wasn't there in this family to heal the parents. I was there to be the child, to have the full experience as being the child or the brother or the sister. But that was it. So the low self-confidence, the self-hatred, I want to leave this body, can leave the system. And as the walk-in part is here to support humanity. So in this webinar, I'm going to be supporting you, if you feel it resonates with you, to release the trauma from the first child system, to walk out of the trauma that's in your system, the density which is in your system, so you can walk into your own soul genetics, your star family information. And you can literally leave that density and heaviness and low self-confidence behind and activate your true gifts, your true talents, your true purpose. So if you feel resonance with this information, yeah, I'd recommend to do this webinar if it resonates with you. There will be a huge jump and a lot of aha moments. Also, a lot of walk-ins have a vanishing twin. So be aware, just to check if you may have a vanishing twin in your system, that there could be another soul that was in the womb with the first child. And if you feel there is, then I'd recommend to do the vanishing twin webinar before doing this webinar. or even you could do it after, but I recommend to do it before. Have a beautiful day. And yeah, if this resonates with you, I was waiting 10 years to do this workshop. It's the first time I got permission to do it. So it's going to be very exciting. And it's the time. It's really the time to show up, the time to accept who you are, accept your gifts with honor, with dignity and grace, and to really, embody your own creativity, your own truth, and your own harmony and balance within this physical aspect. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you, everyone.